Every weekend in the north of England, thousands of Yorkshiremen put on silly costumes and go crawling around down holes in the ground. I've come up north, undercover, to find out what makes these lunatics tick. I'm here today with Matt and Robbie, and they're going to tell us more about their hobby. I've come disguised as a member of Middlesbrough University Caving Club. They don't know I've got a camera tucked away inside my helmet. I want to know what all this is about. This is Robbie, and he's about to rig the first pitch with some rope and some carabiners. I asked Robbie where he learnt all his skills. He said his grandfather passed the tradition down in the family through his father and then on to him. He says when he has little bairns, he's going to shove them straight down a hole at the earliest opportunity. That got me thinking. I thought I'd ring social services later, and anyway, now it was my turn. After 5 minutes of quick training on the top, they shoved me down the hole. It's fair to say, I was crapping myself. I made it down the first pitch alive, and I was followed closely by Jason, who was Robbie's personal assistant. Robbie told me he brought him along to carry ropes and heavy gear like metal carabiners and that. As we got a bit deeper, I started asking questions in my head like, am I ever going to get out here alive? And I probably should have told my mum where I was going. Robbie kept reassuring us and telling us everything was alright, and I felt better about that because he has a lovely Yorkshire voice.
Alright, I dragged him along the passage that make way standing in now, on his back by his chest down because he was so tired he couldn't walk. Right.
Everything seemed to be going well, till about 10 minutes in, a fight broke out. Robbie and Matt started arguing about rigging. That's when I got really scared.
That's absolutely pointless, you don't know what it's there. It's a deviation. No, it's a fucking waste of space for a deviation.
I tried to hide my fear because I didn't want to look like a nonce. So I just pretended to be brave and we carried on downwards. Soon we reached the bottom. Suddenly, Robbie started counting. I wasn't sure what he was counting for, but everything went quiet and very serious. I thought it best time we got out of there.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I tried to make a joke to try and lighten the mood. Then I instantly wondered if I'd done the wrong thing.
Stop being silly. Caving is very serious sport.
That was it. I knew I had to go. So I started climbing the rope as fast as my little arms could carry us. I had to get out of there as soon as possible. As I got close to the daylight, I started hearing voices behind us. It sounded like singing. I wondered if there was something more sinister about this sport than had first become apparent to us. I was terrified. I swung out in the shaft and I climbed as fast as I bloody could. When I thought it was nearly over, suddenly I found it. A trap. Robbie had rigged a right stinker at the top of the first pitch. I didn't let it get me down. I was so scared I ran up it. When I got to the top, I turned round and realised Matt was hot on my heels. Although it looked like he'd been caught in the trap as well. That made us stop and think. Maybe it wasn't set for me. After all, being in the daylight again made me feel all a bit more comfortable about things. Perhaps they weren't trying to trick us, and it actually is a genuine sport. Matt explained to us that first-time cavers often have irrational fears about goblins and being underground with Yorkshiremen and that. I suddenly realised it was all okay. Robbie fell for the trap as well, and we all laughed. Suddenly, It looked like he needed some help.
Fuck off!
It looked like he was slipping, so we dragged him back from the dangerous edge.
Quick, drag him back to reposition. Drag him back quickly into the water. Where he'll cool down.
When everyone was out safely, we packed all the ropes up in their bags and walked back to the vans across the fell. We might have looked daft, but there's nothing daft about this sport. That's for sure. But watch out, Jace, mate. I think you might have something on your welly. Oh, too late.